Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Lack of Focus, episode 73. Chad loves Epic. I am your host, Ed Horde, and alongside me tonight, my partner in crime and gaming, making his big return to the show, Mr. Chad Brown. Chad, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, everybody.
You don't like the title of today's show?
No, I don't.
Well, we'll get into that, of course. We've got a full cast tonight, so joining me as well is Mr. Sean Dorsey. Sean, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, it's going. How you doing?
Quite well. We had a very long discussion about Star Wars prior to this, and so we're all a little wary of it. It's all my fault. I take the full blame.
It is his fault.
My producer extraordinaire, Mr. Kris and I shared very different views on the current status of our beloved Star Wars.
No, we don't. That's the thing. We don't. It's just I accept it and get on with my life. Jesus.
And I'm old and crotchety, and I don't.
The only thing you've got going on is your hatred for Star Wars.
I don't.
Whilst loving Star Wars, it's like, man.
All right, I don't want to sully the waters of this fine show. All the hard work that we put into this one. So tonight, obviously, we're going to be going over our flight deck stuff we've been doing most recently as far as gaming and fun. We've got epic news. I was just remarking to my son in the car this afternoon, like, of all the times, like, Chad's not been able to make a lot of shows because of his crazy schedule. The one time he can make it, coincidentally, we're going to be talking about Epic today because I know he loves it so much. And of course, we've got our over and under that we're going to go over. And then, depending on how quickly we get through the show, we might play some Inquisitor later this evening. So it will be doing that live on Twitch. So by the time you're hearing this, we would already have done it. But in any case, all right. So, Chad, I haven't heard from you in quite some time. What have you been doing lately, my friend?
Blood Bowl.
So I've heard. How is the league going?
So the league started with 6 people all ready to go and play. One of them being Josh, I'll just call him that McMillan, decided he didn't want to play after all. And then we also had another guy who got a new job, and he was not. I don't know if you remember Tim.
I do remember Tim.
Yeah. He got a new job, and he was not able to play. I had talked to a coworker of mine about playing. He was all on board for it, but then I guess he just didn't have the time after all, or what. I don't know. I never actually got an answer as to why he couldn't. So we kicked off a nice little 4-man league. So it's me, the Evil Genius, my son, Scott, who's played Blood Bowl for years and everything, and he's played other games, 40K and such. He's actually in charge of a board game night at the game store. And
about to be published in an audiobook, too. I can't wait to... He hasn't been able to reveal what audiobook he's done the voice acting for, but I'm really looking forward. Whatever book it is, doesn't matter. I'm going to get it because he's in it.
Yep. And then another guy named Clayton, he's also in it. Clayton's playing humans. Scott is playing Skaven. I'm playing Lizardmen, and Logan is playing Elven Union. I am currently sitting at 2-2. So
2-2, you've lost 2 games. Whoa, I've not been keeping up on the league sheet. What happened?
Well, there is a particular player who is undefeated. I think you can guess who that is.
Logan, by the way.
I would guess that the Elven Union from those teams would be the one that's winning.
Yeah,
I'm still surprised.
Those are my 2 losses.
I'm a Skaven guy. Wait, you've played him twice and lost both times?
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
Although the last game we just played, I did kill 2 of his players. But he still won. He still won 3-2. The first game we played, he won 2-1. I beat Scott 4-0, and I beat Clayton 2-1. So
the 2 players from Logan's that you killed, did you kill anyone significant? Did you like kill any of his war dancers or anything like that, or are they just straight up linemen?
No, he has linemen, blitzers, catchers, and like throwers.
Elven Union, it's kind of a pro elf team, but it's just
yeah.
Okay.
The best.
Doesn't have all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up that 2020 book because it looks like they changed things around as far as the team composition, like significantly enough to the point that I don't know my own teams anymore.
Yes, I have a new option for my team. So instead of like the old 3, I now have 4 choices. They've added chameleons.
Skink, is it? Yeah.
Chameleon skinks are now a thing. So I actually have
And you
one of
said
those.
they have shadowing or something like that, right?
Shadowing and pass block.
Oh.
Although it's called on the ball now. Pass block. But yeah, they changed a couple names of some stuff. A couple little rules here and there got changed. But it's
still
basically
stunty, right?
still, yes. Stunty, dodge. Yeah. Yeah, Scott is not running a rat ogre.
All right, there's problem number 1.
No, I disagree.
So sources versus rats were very squishy.
Yeah, but there are ways to mitigate that with, like, you only put 3 line rats on the line. Like there are ways. Like, don't get me wrong, all those strength 4 sources, those are an issue. They always are whenever you play against Lizardmen. But there are ways to mitigate that because there's only 1 blitz. So
do all of the safe stuff and then dodge out with your high agility. Easy.
Exactly.
Easy.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, I fell over. Well, good luck, because it wasn't 2 dice, strength 4.
It's not even that. It's, oh no, I fell over. Well, at least you didn't tackle me.
Yeah, exactly.
I've actually been keeping season stats on one page for my guys, so it's kind of fun to do those kind of things. Now you spend your star player points, so it's like, okay, I built up 6 points, and I'm going to choose a primary skill. Well, those points go away, and your guy goes up like a level or whatever.
Interesting.
And then there's like a secondary column for like the second level your guy is on. And here's all the points you need to do this and that. And now you've got to build those back up. Well, like I said, there's like a whole chart and everything based on like your guy already has one or like he's already been like improved once. So here's what you need for all these different skills and stuff. You don't roll for like a stat increases. You spend points for him, which it's way more points to do that.
Whoa! I am really gonna have to read this rule book.
Yeah, so certain things like that have changed. Like I said, like I've been playing that. I'm 2-2. I've got 2 more games left. For this, like 4-man season we're doing, and that's going to be Scott.
Are you just doing a top 2? For the final, or are you going to do like a playoff?
I don't honestly remember what Scott had planned because it was originally designed for the 6 people, and I don't remember if he's stated since any changes. But
a playoff for a 4-player league, God, I hate America.
Well, that's why I was asking, because for me it would have just been the top 2 teams would have played for the final.
Yeah. But like I said, like I got Scott one more time.
I'm
and then
sorry,
I have Clayton,
Kris. Would you have preferred we just got to the end of the season and whoever's in the top wins? Like there's no playoff. It's just
if you do a 4-player round robin tournament, the person who wins is the person who wins. You mean that kind of result? Yeah, I said that is what I would have preferred, rather than going through the motions of playing an irrelevant 8-game.
Would have been
irrelevant 6 games, so you can seed yourself for the 4-player single elimination tournament.
Right, and that's all
that matters.
I agree that would not have been the way to go, but taking the top 2 teams for a final would have been fine.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he's doing because he's actually the one running this league. And when it was 6 people, I want to say there was going to be some playoffs, but I don't know now that there's 4 what the actual plan is. But at this point right now, I mean, Logan's kind of, got a lot of this under his belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the 2 players you murdered could actually make him lose.
No. He is extremely good at Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is the one game that I'm actually good at, and he's slightly better than me at Blood Bowl, I will have to say.
Yeah, he's really good at it. Well, he always plays elves.
Oh, he played Undead before.
Yeah, and he didn't do well. That's why he went back to elves.
Oh, he didn't do too bad.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. So
a common theme for the evening, actually.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been painting D&D miniatures and other miniatures I have around here, but I've been working on the Blood Bowl. I did get some Lizardmen, official Blood Bowl Lizardmen, and I've been working on them, so.
Good. How many sources come in that box? Just 4?
The box comes with 6.
Oh, it comes with 6. Okay.
And it only comes with 4 regular skinks and 2 chameleon skinks. Which 6 Sauruses and 2 chameleons is all you can actually field on your team.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing I liked about the Skaven box set. Like, it came for pretty much everything. It came like the blitzers that you the blitzers that you had, you get the max. I just need 2 more gutter runners. 2 more gutter runners and 2 more line rats, and then I've got a full team. So frustrating. I don't want to go out and buy a new box.
All the box sets are like that. Logan ended up buying 2 box sets just so he can get all the players he wants.
I already linked him the Forge World blister pack.
You did.
And there's a warehouse in the States now, so you don't even have to pay for shipping across the Atlantic.
Yeah, but there's only 1 gutter runner in there. That's the problem that I have. There's only 1 gutter runner. So I'd have to buy 2 of them, which is basically the same price if I went out and bought a full box set.
So Scott actually had some gutter runners that he got out of some other game that was being sold at Barnes & Noble. And they look like the same sculpt, but it's brown plastic. And I can't remember what game he said it was.
Is that the 7-on-7 version I've been hearing about? I
can't remember.
Yeah, because there is some quick play version of Blood Bowl now that instead of fielding 11 players per, you field 7. And it's supposed to be faster game.
I can't imagine what a good game name for that kind of thing would be called. 7 players in a... Oh, there you go. That probably would work. Probably would work.
I think that'd be a faster game. Do you know if you play full halves or you just play 1 half?
You still play a full half. You just play on a smaller pitch.
Oh, you even play on a smaller pitch too.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. This is if the rules are still the same as from a White Dwarf in the early 2000s. But you don't. The end zone moves up 1, and the wide zones go in.
Oh, gotcha. Making gutter runners even worse. Like turn 1, you don't need the movement. You don't need the movement upgrade to get the turn 1 touchdown. Then.
Oh, you have to get through the smaller gap.
Logan actually pulled a turn 1 touchdown on me.
Yeah. Like if you've got the edge, you can do it.
We actually rolled for the kickoff table, the one where he got to move first.
You're only allowed 2 players in the wide zones. It's so easy.
I'll let you off. That's okay then. If it was the kickoff that got you,
it was the kickoff, and the kicking team got to take a free turn. It's like only people who are in open space. And of course, like on my sides, I kind of put the guys back just a little bit to try and create some tackle zones and such, but not up on the line because they're skinks and they suck. So, like, he brought his guy all the way down to where the ball was, picked it up, and it was like, okay, it's my turn. I really didn't have anybody who could do anything. And then on his turn, boom, touchdown.
Yep. I personally prefer the Hail Mary pass diving catch combo, but that's just me. I'll throw it from my end zone to your end zone and still catch it because the catcher's got diving catch. So even if it scatters, he still got it. I love it when that happens.
I prefer just being good at the game and not having to rely on random chance. But
Clayton did something in our game that I wasn't aware. He actually showed me in the rule book. You could just take the ball and just chuck it down the field. You don't even have to throw it to anybody.
True.
No, you don't need to. Yeah.
True.
And I'm like, I'm surprised there are people who don't do that more often.
I've done that before. I would like to not have the ball near my end zone and keep killing you. I will now kick the ball, and I will use my chainsaw to see if I can murder some of your players whilst you run back and get it.
Mm-hmm. It does come in handy from time to time.
Yeah.
What would you rather have? A goblin holding the ball in your own half, or the ball being up in the other person's end zone and not near your own end zone? Simples.
And just carving through them with all your all your chainsaw and weapon squares.
Oh yeah, I'm just like I said, like I have not really seen anybody do that though, and it's like, oh wow, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often.
Well, so I think everyone gets into the problem comes in is everyone gets into that mindset of I can't let go of the ball. Even if it's blatantly obvious on the next turn, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to lose the ball because I'm going to get blitzed by the guy with, strength 4. He's got, oh, what's the skill that causes you to lose control of the ball? Strip ball. Like you're going to lose the ball. So why put it in a position where it's closer to their end zone? Just chuck it.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of reasons to absolutely do that.
My Croxagore was one of the guys who killed one of Logan's guys, so that was kind of fun.
Of course.
Yeah.
Build up those SP.
Yeah. Which he's gotten an MVP once and then that casualty, and that's pretty much all he's picked up because people don't like to let, too much get near him. All for obvious reasons.
Huh.
But,
so I'm gonna have to pick up that book then. So is that current? I know it says 2020, so that implies to me that there's going to be a 2021, sort of like how they do with 40K.
They did have Clayton just bought the other copy that they had at the store. I mean, they do have the new box set at the store, and then they had like one of the new rules.
I don't need a second human team. I would get it. I would get it because Gabe would have a full orc team, so he'd have the 4 black orcs and he'd have the 4 blitzers by doing that. So it might be worth it for that. And maybe I'll put a thought into it.
Yeah, well, put a thought into actually playing a game in person with people, and then we'll see what's what.
I'm not opposed to it. It's a question of as soon as this COVID thing stops being a thing, and I can comfortably walk outdoors, and not have to worry, I will be there. Because you have no idea. That's the game right there. Like, oh, don't get me wrong. Of all the things, I wanted to start playing 40K. I wanted to start going up to the store and playing 40K. I wanted to start going out and playing X-Wing. The one thing that really tempted me, that really pushed this, do I need to stay home to make sure that no one gets sick at home, was Scott's post that he was doing a Blood Bowl league at the store. That one, I mean, like legitimately, I was torn because I wanted to go and play Blood Bowl. And then Scott picked Skaven, and there would have been 2 Skaven teams in there.
So?
I would have still done it. I still would have. Either that, or I would have just bought the Undead team and played Undead. Because zombies are cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to move on. Sean, I haven't talked to you in a bit. What have you been doing lately?
Cleaning my house.
Yeah, you sounded like you had a very chore-laden day today.
Yeah. I had a tree taken down in my backyard, but I want to keep it all so I can chip it up and put it in my garden so I have, free wood on the ground in the garden. And so my son came over and helped me put together my wood chipping machine. And then after that, I'm also looking to get a couple cats. So I'm, how do you want to put it? I had 2 cats, both of them. One passed away in December, the other one in early January. And so I'm looking to get 2 new ones, but I need to, get the house in order to get 2 new cats. So been working on that, and really nothing else other than playing the game we played last week, the Martyr.
Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr.
Yeah,
it's long. It's a long one to try to put in a YouTube channel title. I can tell you that.
I'm sure. Yeah,
I've just been going Inquisitor Martyr.
Yeah, it's probably better to do that. If you don't know, it's 40K.
Have you been playing it solo, Sean? Done any extra missions and stuff?
No, I literally haven't had time. It's my days have been pretty much working on a lot of different things to get things ready. So
I played a little solo, but that was because I realized my OBS settings were not correct and I was not recording with the correct recording codecs. Because, I went ahead and bought this gigantically expensive but beautiful video card and then decided not to functionally use it when rendering video, apparently, because OBS got an update and decided, yeah, we're not going to use that. We're going to use the default codecs and that'll be fine, right? Well, the default one only does it at 30 FPS and looks like poo on YouTube. So I even called Kris. I was even like, Kris, I don't know what's going on. And then I look at him like, oh, that's why. So I did play like one mission that I recorded just to make sure that the video and audio all sounded good, which it did. So I think I bumped up a level. So, oh, and by the way, I found that item that I was supposed to have that says, oh, you can get 100% XP for the next 5 missions. So that when we do play, I'm going to be the one going up 2 levels of mission.
So I'm level 30 now anyway, so.
He's brutal, Chad. You should see him. He is brutal.
I'm playing a Quexus, a Cowardice Assassin character, so I just go invisible, and then I'll just wander around, and the enemies can't see me. So I'll go and fight them too. Then I just kill the boss.
Well, one thing I like about the game that's pretty cool is you get so many like respawns, but once you're out of those, then somebody has to come and respawn you. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And I think I've got to reserve the fact, as much as I have a love affair with grenades in that game, if I'm going to be the tank that I want to be, I think I need to take Kris's advice and pick up those void shields. Because as much as I love chucking a grenade into a group of nurglings, and as funny as it personally is to me, that's really not the right equipment I should be carrying to do the job I want to do.
That's right. More on my line there.
Yep, I agree.
I should be checking the grenades and blowing them up from distance. And
I agree. So when we play next, if I pick up a void shield, I will switch to void shield. I wish that you could have different loadouts. So, like, the only thing that you can change is the weapons that you're carrying and those seals. But I can't change that tertiary weapon. Like, I wish
you can't take a rocket launcher off your back mid-mission.
No, I wasn't worried about that. No, I agree with that. That I understood. But, like, I wish, like, you're carrying an extra weapon, which in the grenades, I wish that I could carry, instead of a grenade so, like, I've got a bolt gun, too. Like, I've got a bolt gun build, because I love firing bolt guns into crowds. It was great. I wish I could have, with that, the frag grenades as well, and then tab out and go into my power axe and shield.
Yeah, kind of like you pull with range and then charge it.
Right. Like, I wish I could do that. I can't, but I wish I could.
I just use 2 different types of sword, Chad. I don't worry about having a ranged weapon and a melee. Just 2 different types of sword.
Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, I'm waiting.
I was going to say, Ed, you were always more of a shotgun kind of player, but...
Well, this is a more Diablo style kind of thing.
Yeah, it's literally a Diablo.
Yeah, it's Diablo 2 with a 40k skin.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. It's fantastic. Oh, it's so good.
And they still have the nerve to charge $50 for that.
Uh-huh.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. And money well spent. I love the game. It's so much fun. And we've played it for a few hours, and I'm hooked.
It goes on offer every once in a while. Just add it to your Steam wishlist, and it'll go on sale at some point.
Yeah. I got it for cheaper than the 50 when I got it. Because I think I bought it like a day before you, Ed, and it was like 39 or something like that.
Yeah. I'm regretting not pulling the trigger the day that we talked about it while we were doing it. I should have done it that day, but I didn't, and I regret it.
That's a common theme for you, Ed, not pulling the trigger when you're supposed to, because how's that Neptune's Pride game going?
Oh, God. All right, so there's some conspiracy that I want to clear up right now. Kris opened up, first of all, the last game ended. We ended it as quickly as possible. The Coalition won, and we just picked one of the players.
Oh, no, false. One player won. 2 other players also lost.
Yes.
Along with everybody else.
Yeah, but we stood each other up. It's not that dissimilar than the game that you and I and Greg kind of formed a coalition, and then we pushed Greg to the front of the line. It's not that dissimilar.
In that game, there were official alliances.
Correct. You are correct. There were official alliances in that game. There were unofficial alliances in this one. But anyway, so what was it on Thursday? Thursday.
So on Wednesday, I created the game and posted about it. Then 24 hours later, the last person joined and the game fired.
And the game fired off.
In those 24 hours, Ed's convinced that he didn't have time in those 24 hours.
How many times did we have games that were open for a week?
Well, so, sorry, that's a different argument. That's saying that you didn't make the time, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, and you're right. That's exactly what it is. I'm not going to lie. I had a really busy day on Thursday at work. We had our team huddle, which literally took up all day of setting up all the IT equipment outside because we can't do stuff like that indoors. And by the time team huddle was done, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kris says the game fired off, and I went, "What?" We've never had a Neptune's Pride game get started and close out and and fire off that fast. That's the first one. So applaud to all the listeners of the show who all joined in. I never had time to jump into the game. Kris is convinced that I'm lying and that I'm using it as a ruse. I'm not that clever. I'm not that smart to have come up with the idea of pretending that I didn't get into a game that I did so that I can win it.
I don't know about that.
I wish I were. Legitimately, I can show I'll share a screen with my games. If it clears up.
I believe he's not that smart, but I think somebody might have suggested it to him.
No, legitimately, I did not get into this game. I wanted to, but I did not get into
this game. It's a shame because it's going to be a long one because it's a large galaxy, so you need 141 stars, and you need 66% of the stars. And the starting systems are all far away from each other. And we all only started with one undeveloped planet and no ships.
Ooh.
So
I'm really sorry I missed out on this one.
And everyone's role-playing, so...
I'm really sorry. How many players?
All 8.
All 8?
No computer player yet.
I'm so sorry I missed this.
Hey, you'll be able to join in several months whenever this one's over.
Well, so that was the debate as to whether or not they were going to open up a second game, which I don't think Kris has the heart for, or Alan had recommended we play the other game that developer makes, which is this co-op zombie game.
Yeah, I've actually got an account for it now. You have to make a new account because it doesn't carry over from each game, kind of thing.
Really? All right,
yeah,
well, I'll have to
but you just log in. I don't know if Alan's got it on premium to make the game or whatever, but we can speak to him.
Yeah, we'll talk to him on Monday at D&D to find out. So as much as I wanted to get into that game, honestly, I did not. Good luck to all the players who are playing in it. And if there is a Kris can't win this game either coalition, I'm going to laugh because it's not me. As much as everyone seems to think it's a don't let Kris win this game coalition, I didn't start that. I was in one, but I didn't start it.
You were in one. You've been in like 3. Don't lie.
I've been in 2.
Anyone but Kris.
Anyone but Kris.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It's okay. So there is a player in this game called Not Kris, which I don't know if it's a reference to that player not being me, or if to who they would like to win.
That's Ed's secret game right there.
I'm putting this. If it didn't screw up, because I know he's recording video for this, if it didn't screw up the way things did, I would screen share right now. Here, I'll take a photo and put it on my phone so I can put this argument to bed right now. I do not have.
I believe you, and I find it ironic that if this is a game where everyone sues for peace and it just lasts for all eternity and never ends, that you will never get to play another game of Neptune's Pride with us.
That's not fair.
Life's not fair, Ed. It's fine.
You're right.
So, yeah, Ed's going to go ahead and take a picture of his main account and not let you know that he made a secondary account, and that's what he's actually playing with.
Oh, yeah.
You bastard. That's not... Why can't you let me just put this to bed? There, look, I have no active games. I am not in a game. And again, I do not
Under
have
his main account.
Oh my god. I'm never getting away from this argument. I'm never getting away from this argument.
I believe you, it's fine. And I don't know, it seems like it's going to be a bit of a banger of a game. I'm excited.
It's going to be a really awesome game, and you're missing it.
Good luck to all those who's playing. I'm sorry I missed it because he did so many cool things that I wanted to see. That the last game that we did with the symmetrical universes that I didn't like in that one, all sound like it got solved in this one.
So
and would have been a lot.
I did, in addition to everything I said already, I also did like 3 or 4 test starts where it wasn't a blind galaxy. And theoretically, this galaxy is a giant circular ring with random stars deployed within that ring. But everyone should be equidistant from each other player, with one player on the left, one player on the right as it goes around the ring. Sorry, clockwise and counterclockwise. And obviously, coreward and rimward, if we're being correct for a circular galaxy terminology. But I'm currently trying to figure out which way is towards the core of the center of a galaxy and which way is towards the outside of a galaxy, because then I'll know which way is safe to expand and which way isn't.
So when you say underdeveloped planets, there's no economy, no industry, and no science on your
0,
homeworld?
0, 0, and 0 starting ships, and you only start with one planet. You started with 3,000 credits, though.
Oh, okay. All right. So you could build up to the 551 if you wanted to.
Oh, you can build beyond. Like someone started with a 555. Someone started, I think we're on day 2, and let's have a look. Intel.
Well, where's your secondary account at, Ed?
Science.
How are you at so far in the game?
So we're on day 2, and someone's been at Science 10 for since 12 hours in.
Holy shit!
So yeah, people got to Science 10 within a single day. So
weapons.
Is that yours?
No,
he has it's Riger's Markdown Bazaar, and he's role playing an intergalactic trader who just wants to sell all of the technology. Unfortunately, someone else is role playing a Texan used car salesman who just keeps whenever he gets new technology, the other guy will get it, and then they'll like race to be the lowest bidder. So it's like, I'll sell any technology for 40, like basically 10 credits above cost. And then like, I'll sell it for 35. I'll sell it for 33. I'll sell it for 31.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry I'm missing this. Well, that kind of dovetails really nicely. What have you been up to, Kris?
I started a new game of Neptune's Pride.
You did?
And managed to get into the game and everything. Which,
but Ed didn't get to play.
To be fair, the game can't start without me because I set it up. So it does reserve a spot for me. So theoretically, I didn't join first this time. And I didn't use my real name. So if anyone knows who the first player was, that eliminates me. I wasn't that player. But I could be any of the other players. But yeah, it's been good fun. Interesting. I've been playing some Inquisitor Martyr. I've been doing some painting. I've finished all of the painting tasks I set myself for March, which was doing the Elder Scrolls starter box, but in resin instead of plastic. And that was mind-numbingly boring because I'd already painted the same models like about 2 months ago. It was just dull. I painted a Uriel Ventress. I just bought a Space Marine and painted a Uriel Ventress character. So I posted it on Instagram, so Ed would have seen it, surely. Maybe.
I haven't looked at Instagram today.
What a traitor. This was weeks ago.
Yep.
It was last weekend.
Weeks ago?
It was last weekend. I think I posted it in it's in the Discord, and painting in the Discord as well.
Good job, Ed.
Hold on. Oh, because I don't have notifications turned on. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing that now.
But it's on the painting channel in the Discord, I think. Above Will's Fire Spray and above Bill's Ultramarines, you have my Uriel Ventress. Because
So
we marched
I'm on Instagram now.
Yeah.
I see your completed hero quest. I see your troopers and your bacon sandwich.
Did I not post it to Instagram? I'm sure I did.
Boss. I see droids.
You've gone past it at that point.
I see Venom.
You've
You
gone
didn't
past it. I did. It's just before Hero Quest.
just before Hero Quest? Hold on.
Or just after Hero Quest. It's Uriel Ventress, Hero Quest, and then the Legion stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll just send it to you. There you go. I'm going to post it to you now, just because I
Thank
have the
you.
power.
You do.
There we go. It's on our Facebook group chat.
Yeah, that's the one. I did see that. Okay.
Well,
That's the one you said you spent an unreasonable amount of too much time on the eyes. Now I remember this one. They look good too.
So, captain of the fourth company, so he gets his nice green robes and his green shoulder pads.
Keeping it up, keeping all the lore intact.
And it was March, so I felt like I had to paint an ultramarine to match for my crag, you know.
Oh, for the March of Ides, I thought.
No, gotta be a 40k nerd at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was painting some Nighthaunt today, just because I have them. They've been half done for about 3 years. So they've been half done for about Evie's lifetime.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I've got no real pressing commission concerns or anything like that. Jill's here. I can just paint just because I want to. So I did.
Good.
And I got to level 30 in 40k Inquisitor Martyr.
You're only like 10 levels above me.
Oh, you guys will catch up quick enough. I died and failed my special mission because I added too many tarot cards to it to make it harder and harder. So I had, if you die at all, you get an auto fail. So that was silly of me. I played a game of X-Wing on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh. So I heard. I heard about this. Who did you play? What did you play? And how did it go?
So I played Will One of Local Guys, and I played a 6... Sorry, I'll be American for you. I played a 6 Z95 Headhunter Swarm for Scum and Villainy.
You have to be watching this on YouTube to watch the pain in his face as he says the word Z, the letter Z.
Z95, Z95. So I had 2 Zeds with so they all have Cutthroat, which is the new talent from the new box, which is if a ship with Cutthroat or that is limited dies and it's within range 0 to 3 of you, you can recharge one of your non-recurring charges. So it's like, well, Scum have got a crap load of non-recurring charges, so this should be fun. So I wanted to just see how many I could fit into a list. So 2 of them have got S-thread traces and false transponder codes, which are both non-recurring charges. So you shoot the traces. If you hit, everyone gets a target lock, which means the 2 of them that have got false transponder codes trigger the false transponders, which jams the ship that you just hit, and then twice, so we get 2 jam tokens. And then you can shoot with the rest of the swarm who just got target locks. And then if you shoot you back, one of your ships dies, which gives you back your false transponder code, so you can do it all again.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. And then the other ones all have contraband cybernetics and proton rockets, because that's only a single-use thing, and just keeps people scared of going in the bullseye. Will played a double fire spray list for Separatists. It was Django and Zam in the fire sprays, which he played a... I won't be disparaging. He played a real game of X-Wing, which I was not capable of playing, since it was my first game in a while. So I think I kind of got what he was going to do, and I was like, I'll play it really. I did my best to give him a real game, but I needed to blow the cobwebs off, I think. I did trap him, and got half points off Django, but he'd already killed a couple of ships, and then in the last turn, I think he managed to get kill shots on bombs, killed one of them, and then 2 kill shots from the other ships to finish off the others, which made it not a close game. That was time had already been called in the last round, kind of thing. But obviously, lack of repositioning on the Z's and the not overly amazing dial just meant I could never pin them down for enough turns on the trot. And I think we spent 40 minutes kind of dancing, just not doing anything meaningful. So, yeah, I think K turned a turn too early, which gave him a shot that I probably could have forced him to not be able to take. Because by the time I got in position, because I took K turned a turn late, he got a range 3 shot on one of my corner guys and half pointed it, which meant that I was behind then, and he didn't have to engage anymore. So after that, it was pretty. I had to chase him, and that's where you're opening yourself up to bombs and all of the other stuff. And so yeah, it wasn't an ideal game for me to talk about and be able to sound competent and good, but it was fine.
But overall, you get the opportunity to play it in a different format, which was on Tabletop Simulator. How did you find that?
It was fine. I found it more clunky than Vassal. It's cool in that it has physics, so it feels more like you're moving something around. Like they make clunking noises and all of that. There's enough automation so that it's actually playable for moving the ships and everything. But a weird thing came up, which I don't know. I assume I must have done something wrong, because I deployed in 2 lines of 3 with what I believe to be the range ruler's width between the left-hand ships and middle ships, and the middle ships and right-hand ships, and then touching the front and touching the back of the deployment area for a gap in the middle between the 2 rows, which, as to my knowledge, means that I can now do any moves and any banks and not bump.
Yeah, that's how it should work.
I judged that by doing what I thought was a top-down view, and angled from one side and angled from the other side. And Will, this obviously we were deploying, and Will was talking me through how to nudge my ships around and stuff, and he said that they looked good. Then about, I'd say 7 or 8 rounds into a game where I'd gone one straight, 3K, 1 straight, K turn again, like hard turn, and then I did a K turn. And then the turn after my K turn, everyone did a 2 bank to clear the stress, and like half of my ships bumped. I was like, I genuinely didn't know how it happened, because I was under the impression that there's no human error. Obviously, had I been playing that in person, the ships move. You're never doing it perfect. There's wiggle room. But it obviously means that the angle I was looking at must have been off or something. Or because you can't have built error into the automated movement. So it was just really weird. And Will was fine with it. It's like, they shouldn't have bumped, so don't worry about it. Have your actions. Obviously, it was like a friendly game kind of thing. So we had like take backs and stuff like that throughout. It was fine, like playing it, but it was just really weird. Where maybe I just need a lot more practice with the actual interface. But I was sure that I'd set up correctly. So that, not that I ever would. So it's irrelevant. It's like complaining about something that doesn't really matter at all. But I don't know that I'd ever want to play that competitively on TTS if it does that kind of stuff. Because obviously, in a real game on TTS, all your ships bumped. There's no There's no take backs, and then
Right.
my list would have just fallen apart in that round because that's one of the 2 rounds where I got 4 or 5 of the ships to shoot. Half of them having no mods would have been a bit crappy.
And that's one of the things I've always praised Vassal for, is it's precise.
Yeah, that's where I actually, if I ever felt the need to practice and practice on the computer, I would probably still use Vassal. If if they're all the local guys play on TTS, so if they want a game and I'm not doing anything, I would probably play on TTS again. I don't think I would run a swarm because the dial interface is weird. You don't click to change the maneuver on the dial. You click on it and it brings up a pop-up box which has all of the maneuvers on it, and then you click on which one you want and click set, and that sets your move, which seems cleaner, but that pop-up box pops up over anything else on the table, and it kind of, if you're hovering over 2 layers, so that'll bring up options for the thing that's underneath the dial as well. So you've got to have them spaced out, which means you've got to be zoomed out far enough. It just felt more awkward to push in the buttons to change my dial I'm used to, and not knowing the hotkeys to make it easier. So I'm sure it is more use will make it cleaner. But I think if I was playing a 3-ship list, I don't think I would have noticed. It's only because I was playing 6 where I was they were getting in each other's way kind of thing through dials. But yeah, flipping the tokens and having that feel of the things having weight was cool.
Good. Anything else you wanted to cover?
No. I think we'll probably talk about the other stuff I've been thinking about X-Wing wise once we get onto the news and main topics and points breakdown. So
my flight deck mostly has consisted of D&D on Monday. Always good.
Oh,
always
yeah,
fun.
We played D&D.
We did, yeah.
I didn't get to kill anyone.
Oh, darn. You've certainly tried. No children or burning puppies were harmed in the making of the latest D&D session, which was nice. We have a lot to unpack from our last session because I feel like it's been interesting. This campaign's been interesting because there's been the way that Kris is DMing is it's kind of an open sandbox kind of world. Things still happen in the background that are moving that if we're not there to see, still happen.
Just think, if you guys had never stopped playing Village Simulator,
I know.
That hunter might have lived.
He might have, but
he wouldn't have his braces because he'd still be alive. I wouldn't have his braces.
Correct.
And those old people would still be alive.
I mean, maybe the Dryads would have sent some barbarians to kill them.
Maybe.
Who can say? So they might still have been dead. You just wouldn't have any guilt because you wouldn't know.
But Chad's now walking around with his own skull.
Yeah.
From an alt Chad version. So that should be
possibly.
Possibly. There's a lot to unpack there.
Still don't know what time travel rules Kris is using.
I know. Turns out the maid in our house turned out to be a vampire. No big deal. Except now that
I think that we could have predicted that one from 250 miles away.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And what was? Oh, there was one other one. Oh, yeah, and we're starting up our own winery/orphanage apparently, because Ed likes to open fire on old ladies in the middle of the night without thinking. He just went, "Yo, kill her, shoot!" And Kris is like, "Okay, I guess this is happening."
So they only agreed to take those 2 kids for like a few days.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not really an orphanage.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with all the children we're saving from these witches that are stealing pie or making kids new maid. They're a little young to kind of I'd be afraid they might set the house on fire when they're trying to cook dinner, kind of thing. I just don't know that that's the right role for them.
Barovia does not have child labor laws.
That would also solve your problems with having too many children around.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
But the first time kids have died in that house.
It wouldn't have been.
I mean, you can always make another bad deal and get more people killed.
Yeah, it seems like no matter what I do, no matter what direction I go, people are always going to die. I feel like that's my plight in life.
People die every day, Ed. You can't take credit for all of them. You don't get XP for them.
I'm not taking credit. I'm taking blame. There's a difference. And then we played Alien RPG on Friday. We finally got to the end of Act 1 on Chariots of the Gods. That ended with a splash, so to speak. I'm super happy. I said this in my group with the Alien RPG. I'm super happy I did not read this in advance. This particular adventure. The reason why I'm doing this, just for everyone's aware, like I'm not cheating on my D&D group. I still love all the guys, but I wanted to be able to play in the game and experience it as a player first before running it for our group at some point in time in the future. So I found a group online that runs this in the Alien RPG Discord, and I've intentionally avoided reading any of the published material for adventures, even though I own them, because I don't want to spoil it for myself. I want that surprise to know. Ooh, I didn't see that coming. This is all interesting stuff. So it's been pretty good. We had a good time. And then what else? Oh yeah, we did Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr. I put both episodes that we did. We had a 3-hour gaming session last Saturday. Oddly enough, whenever you shave out all the I'm going to sell equipment, upgrade equipment, and all the bullshit of us just chatting in between, you take 3 hours, you shave all that out, and it goes down to 2 1-hour episodes. It was kind of nice. It worked out. That's about it. That's pretty much all I've been doing, really. Gaming, like mostly spending it with Kris and Sean has been my gaming experience the last few weeks.
Yeah, thanks.
You're more than
Thanks
welcome to
for the
join.
invite.
You're more than welcome to join. All right, so up next, Chad's favorite topic: epic news. There are new epic ships. Well, one anyway. It's not official. There's nothing official on FFG's site. I didn't see like an official.
It is official because AMG announced it in their stream and tweeted about it.
Right, and we've got photos. We can see the images. I mean, I'm going to actually have to pull this up on the photos that Kris sent for show prep. Imagine that. We've done a little bit of that. But we're getting this for the Separatist faction. Oh, why can Kris's Space Marine picture not go away? There we go.
It's Separatist and Scum, I believe.
Oh, Scum get access to this too.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we're getting the Trident class assault ship, which came from Clone Wars, correct?
Yeah.
So this is basically the space squid. This is really what this is. Comes with 3 attack, 0 agility because it is an epic ship, 10 hull, 4 shield, and 3 energy recharging. Comes with a baked-in ability of Tractor Grasp. After you perform a Tractor Tentacle attack that hits, the defender gains 1 Tractor token. Comes with double focus, double red evades, double red reinforce, a target lock, and a red coordinate. So looking forward to this, I again got into this conversation with my son earlier in the day today. This just reinforces what I wish Epic could have been. And he asked me an interesting question. He's like, well, if it were you, where would Epic have gone after the first Scum ship? I said, if it were up to me, they wouldn't just have 5, 6 epic ships. They'd have 36 epic ships of that class, and that you would have capital ship battles, and it wouldn't have been reduced to 300 in first edition, 600 in second edition. It would be like 1,000 points, and you'd have multiple Corellian corvettes on the board versus a couple of raiders. Like, that's where I would have wanted to have seen the game kind of go on that much larger scale.
Have you ever heard of Armada?
Well, I know, and Armada is what did that. And that's one of the things, like, as much as cool as I think Armada is, because it is a cool game, that's what really kind of killed it, to be honest with it. It killed it at that scale. When they released Armada, like, if you want to play capital ships game, X-Wing's not the way to go. You want to go Armada. So it makes me wonder,
dogfights.
Right. So there's, like, does it fit into that scope of in between? Like, Epic to me genuinely feels like the redheaded stepchild of the Star Wars miniatures games. Like, what do you do? Like, I'm excited that they're doing it.
It's just fun.
It is just fun.
No one's going to spend like 7 hours playing Epic regularly to be like, this is a game I play week in, week out at the game store. But throw in your hentai tentacle Star Wars monster on the board, because that's what Star Wars needed more of. And just having at it. Yeah, why the hell not? I mean,
I think a lot of the problem I think we have when we view Epic compared to X-Wing per se is that we always view it from a competitive play point of view. And Epic isn't a competitive play game. It can be. I mean, it could be. But really and truthfully, it's just too big to play. If the board was bigger, if everything was bigger, yeah, I could see it being a pretty good, competitive game, but it's not. It's always just been designed, I think, to be a fun game. And initially it was designed to get more cards into the X-Wing competitive format.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Like, and
I don't think people realize with first edition Epic, that's what it was designed for. It put Palpatine in, it put C-3PO, R2-D2, all these other cards that,
they didn't have anywhere else to put them.
Exactly, and that was a way for them to get those kinds of cards out there. And thematically, it actually fit.
I agree with that. I don't think I've ever taken Epic seriously to the competitive level. And I always equate, and again, I'm going to draw a 40K reference, so if you're not into 40K, you're not going to. I've always equated Epic level ships as the reason why you buy a Titan from Forge World for 40K. Apocalypse level games of 40K are nowhere near competitive in any way, shape, or form. When you have Warhound Titans and Emperor class Titans up on the board, like, these are world destroying machines.
So
there's no such thing as a competitive game. That's why I always thought that whenever they did Imperial Knights was weird at the 40K scale.
Your example there, you could buy an armor cast Titan well before there were rules for Titans.
Correct.
Right, you could, like, Forge World made them, and they make them because they're cool.
Right.
And people buy them because they're cool. And then you make the game afterwards. And that's what this is. Like, it doesn't, like, I am probably going to, I don't own any Epic ships anymore. I sold all of them when we changed over. This kind of makes me want to get back into it, because I want to see if I can convert it to be like Squid Monster in something. And you know what it really actually excites me for, and Sean will be on board with this. If this is in X-Wing, Sean, probably going to be coming to Armada.
I'm excited. That's actually what my excitement was for this, was to see this ship come into play. Yeah. And my first thought, just like Kris was, I didn't really think it out loud, but my first thought was, potential.
Yeah, and I could see it coming more. But again, at the Armada scale, they're itty bitty.
It's gonna be like the Raider models, but you'll get like maybe they'll be like the Hammerhead Corvettes, where you get a couple in a box, and they'll have some where they're like.
That's why I was kind of curious if they went like if they go for like the flotilla kind of thing, where you're running like the two like Xanthis or whatever they do in Armada like that.
But yeah, I'm on board for this. It just seems cool. Like,
it is. I'm not disagreeing. It's not
from Epic. I don't want it to be like, oh, well, I can take my Kroyan Corvette and get my side arc broadsides with all of these big guns. I can upgrade this guy, and if I use this upgrade, I can re-roll any misses. And then this one shuts down your token. I just want to fly my Squid Monster at you and see how many ships I can rip apart. Come on.
Right. We want to see the crew on the bridge screaming in fears as big, as Kris described it, hentai squid monster comes to squeeze the life out of them.
Yeah, and I think from a X-Wing perspective, the rule of cool, I completely agree. It's cool. But it makes me wonder, like, with Armada in place, like, aside, that's the only reason to make it. Legitimately, it has no other.
Doesn't it equalize the game as far as
it allows the
amounts of
separatists. It allows the separatists to have a epic ship. It brings a second one because I feel like I think Scum can actually take the Corvette too.
No, Scum have got the
Gazanti.
The non-carrier Gazanti thing.
Yeah.
So
the Sea Rock, that's what it's called, for Sea Rock.
Yeah, the Sea Rock. Yeah.
So the squid thing only has one acceptable conversion to make to it, Kris, and that is you have to put a little action figure of Monstar on top of it, because it is. And then the only way you could defeat this thing is if you get some HWKs and you paint them silver, because that's the only way you defeat Monstar.
I'm going to obviously this picture I posted in our group chat that's got a googly eye stuck on it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
But
do you think the arms are going to articulate? I'd probably not consider that.
I don't, because it looks like the stand goes into the back one.
Yeah, I think that's where the stand goes. But it would be cool if they did.
Or just come at it with the arms out wide,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it like the picture. That's how I want to convert one. Have it mounted on the back stand, and then have the tentacles come up and around the front.
Yep.
So
that'd be cool.
I don't think it would be that difficult. Like a bunch of pinning and then slotting in like corrugated card, plastic card kind of thing. Yeah, you could just
swap the arms around. You literally have to cut those all into pieces and then reassemble them.
Yeah.
The other thing about Epic too is they never brought in large ships. These are all the small, what would be very small cruiser, destroyer class size ships. So.
Yeah, but in the Star Wars universe, there's like hundreds of those. That's kind of the point that I like. If that was obviously that they went for the rule of cool to get the CR-90 and the Rebel Transport. I still think the Rebel Transport was a bad choice, but because it had no guns, so that legitimately when Epic on its onset came out,
it's all you had though from Episode 4, or 4 or 5.
I know,
pretty much 6. You had those. You couldn't put out the medical frigate. You could have, but that would have been pretty beastly. You just had really 2 choices at that point because you couldn't do any of the Mon Cal ships.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Personally, myself, I think they limited themselves by putting in a 3x6 mat. I agree with you. It should have been a bigger game, and if they had gone a little bit bigger, you could have gotten maybe not you'd have never gotten a Star Destroyer on Epic, never.
On a 4x6 field, though, you could have done a little bigger ships.
Like a Lancer frigate or something like that. You could have. That game needs a Lancer frigate, because what ends up happening with Epic games always end up boiling down to is 40 X-wing style ships in that scale, and then 1 or 2 Epic ships. I think if you have a Lancer frigate that just annihilates all fighters, the meta shifts to, all right, well, everyone wants it, we should play capital ships, but we don't have enough capital ships to really have variety to make that work.
I really want them to do, and this is I'm wanting them to do the Superstar Destroyer in Armada kind of levels. But I want them to do the ships from not the Imp Star Destroyer and the Profundity, but the frigates, the Corvette. Yeah, no, the frigates. So the assault, the Nebulon class frigate for Rebels,
and I think they could have
done the Imperial crew. No, the cruiser. The one that's in Armada. I can't remember what it's called now.
Gladiator.
No.
For who? The
Imperials.
What do they have? They have the Gladiator. They have the Victory.
No, it's
not the Victory. The
it's a Blister. I'm going to look it up now because I'm feeling like an absolute moron. So annoying.
I own every single one, but I don't know.
You know the ones I mean, Ed, from playing Squadrons, when you're playing as a Rebels, the ones you have to blow up before you can assault a Star Destroyer.
Oh. God, why am I drawing a blank on this?
Yeah, I can't think of a name either. I'm looking them up now.
As your memory's gone at your old age.
I'm so old now. It's unbelievable.
So
I was talking about Ed.
I agree, but I was talking about me.
Hmm.
I am so old now. It's hard to believe. It's just the Imperial Light Cruiser expansion. Come on, what's its real name? Oh, it's so annoying.
Well, what are those? Those are
an
those
Architans,
ships.
is it? An Architan? God damn, I'm gonna have to Google this.
It's that ship with the thing and the,
yeah,
people.
the ship with the
Come
thing.
on. So someone's going to be screaming it at the Arquitans. Arquitens. Arquitens.
Yes. But anyways,
which
interesting.
ones?
I'll post it in the chat for you.
So
I'm looking at Asmodee's site. So hold on.
It's interesting that you brought up squadrons because again, I feel like I'm doing the chat thing. So I had this conversation with my son. We were talking about like where Epic could have gone. He's like, you could have seen it something along the lines of where squadrons went, where you had these capital ships around and you had a handful of fighters floating around, but like the focus was really on the capital ships. And I still think that could have worked. I really do.
I think the second you change squadrons to not be about the fighters not squadrons, X-Wing to not be about the fighters is a mistake. Because of the way the movement works, they weren't very, very interactive flying the Epic ships because of the way that the flight path system works. But the movement they have in Armada works a lot better. But even then, it's not really perfect. But I don't think X-Wing as a game doesn't lend itself to that clunkier ship movement. And even then, it's all abstracted for functionality on the tabletop.
Anyway,
Just like
long
Epic
story short,
sucks.
I always enjoyed Epic. I always said Epic was fun. That's one of the things I loved about doing the Outrider Cup because it gave me an excuse once a year, every year, to be able to break out, an epic ship, put it on the table. Because it gave me an excuse to have those beautiful capital ships sitting over there and actually put them on the table and use them. It's the same again. It's the same reason someone spends $1,000 on a 40K Warhound Titan. You don't play that every single day. That's not your every Tuesday night at the game store. I'm bringing out the Warhound Titan. That's hey guys, we're getting together for a big Armada game. I'm bringing the Warhound. Like everyone can bring their Bane blades. Let's play like a big 90,000 point game kind of thing. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about having Epic in existence is it's another way to play X-Wing. It's not the way to play X-Wing, it's just another way. The problem is I think Epic kind of got a bad name overall because of the way that they put the initial rules for Epic out was you didn't have to put an Epic ship on the table.
Yes.
And that's what happened at that first Nova. They ran an Epic tournament at the first Nova, and only 2 Epic ships appeared out of the 16 some players that were playing.
But how many ships existed in the game at the time?
2.
It was just the Rebel ships, right?
Correct.
Yeah. It was just Rebel ships.
As with everything,
and there were Rebel players.
Yeah, but as with everything Fantasy Flight does, they fail to understand that when you launch one, you need to launch more.
Right. They should have released the Raider alongside the CR-90, and they should have passed on the GR-75.
Yeah. Well, the GR-75 is fine if everything was equal within all factions,
Right.
If you have a
support
ship,
a support ship.
If you have a support ship, you have a support ship. You have, all 3 factions have the support ship. And I'm hoping actually that they do some Epic with the droids and, the new stuff that's come out. You know how they've added the factions in.
Yeah.
I was the New Republic and the all the droid stuff. That'd be cool because then at least you have a lot of volume to choose from at that point. Because the problem was you only had rebels, like Chad was saying, at the first Nova, which to me was stupid, you know, because the only ship you would ever want to field is the CR-90 in the beginning, because you could put more crap ships on the table for the Imperials to blow them up, you know, which is about what it was, you know. I don't know. Epic's fun, but it was never my true cup of tea. Even though I don't own all of the Epic ships. I own some. I don't own. What was the Raider? I don't own that. That's the one I don't own.
The only one I don't own is the Sea Rock, and then obviously this one when it comes out.
I do not have a Sea
The
Rock.
only problem I have is if I buy this one, I probably want to buy all of them again.
Yep. Yep.
And like, you can't buy the Raider.
Well, before you go and buy, I can sell you a CR-90 and about 4 Rebel transports to go around it.
Oh, I remember this conversation already about why you had so many Rebel transports.
Yeah, because they were cool. Come on. Because I'm an idiot.
Let's play. I believe Sean ran the scenario that came with the transport where you need like 4 of them to do the escape from Hoth.
Yeah, that's what we did initially, and yeah, and they were only what, $59 or $69 compared to the $100.
Yeah, I think they were like $60. The Xanthi was the same thing.
Yeah, and I sold my entire MTG collection, which was $6,000 worth of credit from cool stuff overall. And so that pretty much bought all my Star Wars stuff.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next bit of news? Because that's a chunk on the squid.
Well, they did kind of drop something else too in that.
It's a fancy little picture.
A little picture.
Be a nice ship. Hope it doesn't get blown up.
In the second season. So they do have a picture of the Razor Crest that they posted as well on this stream, which is something that we said the day that the Mandalorian dropped. How long is it going to take before that comes into X-Wing? A little bit longer than I was expecting, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So
yeah. Can I ask a quick question though? Does it fit in Scum and Villainy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, because he's kind of an outcast to everything. It's not like he's truly Scum and Villainy. He's kind of
kind of an outcast too.
Yeah.
Look at what else is in Scum and Villainy though. Like the arguments you could make about different things, like Lando in his Millennium Falcon. Does that really fit in Scum and Villainy?
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously the time spread from like Asajj in the Lancer through to Unkar Plutt in the Quad Jumper.
Mm-hmm. Like Scum and Villainy is like everybody else who isn't part of an organized government.
Yeah, I get that, but he kind of seemed to play both sides of that fence. You know, he's like the Boba Fett that's Imperial because he worked with the Imperials. Kind of feels like he's kind of like a rebel and a scum.
I think if he comes in Rebels, I think I'll be disappointed because it should be New Republic then.
Right, I agree.
But
you can't put him in Resistance. So
no, that's too far down the road. Yeah.
So I think the only place that he genuinely fits is Scum and Villainy.
I agree with what Sean's saying, but I think the catch-all nature of Scum is the best fit for him.
Yeah, that's why I was asking the question. I agree with you. I'm just trying to, because the way he was in this show, it didn't quite fit 100% in Scum.
He's not as scummy and not as villainy as he should be to be in that faction.
Yeah, he's like too nice.
So I will bring up something that they've done in the past that ship in the background, they have a habit of putting ships in the background that aren't released yet.
Isn't that the ship from Spaceballs? The Flying Winnebago?
Lone One or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Eagle
Lone
5.
Star, Lone Star One or whatever.
Oh, what was it? It was the Eagle 5. You're
Eagle
right.
5.
You're right. I should have known that.
Yep.
We've already talked about Spaceballs once today.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be.
But what ship
practically
is that?
looks
I'm
like
having
it.
a hard time placing that.
That's what I mean. I don't know exactly what it is. It looks like it doesn't have foils, so it's not an X-wing.
It doesn't look like an X-wing.
Oh, I don't think it's a Z95.
No, it's not.
So
no, the engines aren't right.
Yeah, but I mean, there you go. It's a ship, that's for sure.
It looks like a freight train with wings.
Yeah.
In reality, though, I mean, I don't think we saw that in season 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not wrong.
No, I just thought it was interesting that there was what to my untrained eye is an unknown ship.
Looks kind of like a kit ship, like between the front of a Y-wing.
Isn't it ugly?
Maybe it is a Y-wing, and it's just one because they're really bad at painting Y-wings, aren't
they? Are you suggesting it's an ugly?
That's the front looks like a Y-wing, but the nacelles aren't Y-wing nacelles, and the wings are different.
Yeah.
Wow, this is an interesting ship.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh no, it looks like there's a little bit of wings sticking out past the engines.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is really good for an audio podcast. So
it's all right. All it means is that when I publish a video, I now have to actually put the pictures on the video at the correct times, and I haven't been writing timestamps down, so that'll make it more fun.
Extra work for Kris.
Yeah. So then we have points now for all of the stuff that came out yesterday.
I mean, I'm happy that I know the points for Vader and I can start building around him. I'm curious if they're overcompensating just a bit.
What did he fall in at?
115 points.
Yeah. 115 with Vader in a TIE Defender.
So all of us went too low.
Yep.
Not all of us.
True.
Yes.
True.
Unfortunately, Chad was not here for that one.
No, and nor was Ed didn't message me either about it.
Well, it's all in the.
To be honest, I
in the group chat that I don't follow that much.
Right, exactly. So
you've missed the last 3 of these, Chad. So just to make you feel worse, if not better.
That doesn't make me feel worse. So I'm like,
all right, let's go through this. I want to hear how bad I was.
So I will say that everyone got at least 1 correct. Everyone got at least 1 the most wrong. And then do you just want results, or do you want to go through ship by ship?
Let's go quickly ship by ship.
Ship by ship. I think that's the way to do it.
So Vader Defender, Sean said 98 points. That was the most wrong. I said 112. So I was 3 points off, but I was the most right. Or the closest, I should say, because I was still wrong. And Ed said 105. And then
105. I thought I'd be 110, but yeah, I guess I did say that. I believe you. I believe you.
It doesn't matter what you think; it's what I've got written down.
My feelings don't matter. That's what you're trying to tell me.
But my facts don't care about your feelings. Then we have Ahsoka in the A-Wing, who came in at 49 points. Sean, again, but this time in the other direction, with 54 points, was the most wrong.
Nice.
Ed was almost as wrong, but in the other direction, with 45. I said 49 points, so I was bang on.
Nice.
I'm so good at this game. It's almost like I have an advantage.
Almost.
Then I actually feel bad about this one because I got 3 bang on, just to spoil the end results, and I didn't cheat. I promise you.
So he says, folks. So he says.
Then we have Scenery in the Interceptor, who has that interesting ability. Have you seen this card, Chad? And she's a second Initiative 6 TIE Interceptor pilot. And she's 48 points, so 7 points cheaper and soon tier, I think. 8 points cheaper and soon tier. Her ability,
she's got a downside, yeah.
Yeah, is if you kill a ship, you gain a stress token. If a friendly ship dies, you remove a stress token. But 48 points for an I-6 interceptor.
It's an interceptor. They're designed to relieve stress easily.
Yeah.
So
right,
not
but
too bad.
But it's also an I-6, and I-6s are usually considered your quote-unquote aces, which would be the ones that you'd be sending after ships, intentionally trying to kill ships.
Yeah.
So that's where the flip comes in with her ability of, okay.
So you run her with Soontia, and then you shoot with her first and let Soontia get a kill shot. Easy. Job done.
Yeah.
But so
48 points is
48
pretty
points.
Hey, I don't see it as that bad of a handicap. I mean,
no.
I don't think I did either, if I recall.
We all went low on her. As I said 48, which is what she came in at. Sean was second closest at 46. And then Ed really underrates that ability or overrates that downside and said 44.
Yeah, see, I knew I went hard in the opposite direction, thinking that it was too far of a disadvantage.
Then, guys, we have the one that I got the most wrong. The B6 Blade Wing title for the B Wing, which all it does is add the gunner slot. And I said, maybe FFG have just learned and just making you spend more points to be able to spend more points isn't actually worth that much. And there aren't any good gunners anyway. So I said it would cost 0. It cost 2. So I was the most wrong.
Yeah, so by his most wrong, he's most wrong by 2 and not 10. Just we're on the same page.
Yeah, well, but out of all of us, I was the most wrong. Then Sean was bang on. He said 2 because he has 0 faith in FFG, and got it bang on. And Ed was just in the middle, not really decisive either way, and said 1 point and was 1 point off. Kanan in the Hawk. I can't remember what logic we used for Kanan, but it's 42 points, and I said it was going to be 42 points, so I assumed it was outstanding logic that was absolutely faultless. And
no reason whatsoever to doubt it in any way.
I'm pretty sure this is one where you guys went first, so I just, added a point on and, played the game. It's fine. But we were all pretty close on this one. Sean was the most out at 40, so only 2 points away. Then we had Cutthroat, which was...
what was mine for Kanan?
41.
Okay, I was making sure.
Then we had Cutthroat, which is 1 point. And Ed and Kris both said 1 point, so we were both correct. Sean said 2 points. I think Sean was trying to play the differential game in the hope that it went one way or the other. On these,
that's the one where I was debating to play the differential game and going 0 just to make sure that if I were right, I get a point up. It didn't matter, obviously, in the end, with Vader killed me as much as I love him.
Well, so Sean, as he predicted in our chat earlier, did lose with 27 points. A whopping 17 of those coming from Vader. Ed was in second place off with a differential of 20 points, 10 of those coming from Vader.
Yep.
I got a differential of 5 points, and get to feel really smart and like, yeah, I'm so good at this game. So I get to pick the charity this time, and I suppose I should check how much we're going to be donating.
So while you're doing that, the point that I wanted to make when we reviewed this before is I saw someone did a Vader, because we talked about, well, which TIE Defender are you going to use to represent Vader? Because the one that comes in this set doesn't have a different paint scheme, correct?
It does. It's got yellow trim.
It's a yellow.
Right. That's right. It's got the yellow trim, which I don't think represents Vader in any way, shape, or form. I had seen that someone had done a all black Defender with red trim, sort of like Bloodstreams. It's sort of like instead of having where the yellow is, it's all in red, which I thought was pretty sharp. So I think that's what I'll do for my because I have, I don't know, 5 defenders. Why I have 5 defenders is, oh yeah, because of the box that the 2 defenders came in. So yeah, I'll probably just repaint one of those for Vader's alone. So I'm looking forward to that.
He's actually going to paint something.
I am, because Vader. I can't wait to put Vader on the table. Oh, and I was saying to Kris, obviously with COVID, I was on a decline on actually playing X-Wing on the table to begin with for multitude of reasons, but COVID kind of killed that for a bit. I want to get Vader on the table. Vader is going to put me back on the table because I want to fly Vader in a Defender.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I6, 3-4-3, 3 with 3 Force tokens. His ability isn't the same as the Vader in the TIE Advance, though. His ability is, you can spend Force to flip. And someone did correct us on that, by the way. I guess the rules as written, you can only spend 1 Force to flip 1 die.
I forgot to do that correction last time. Well done, Ed. Yeah, that was Tommy pointed that out, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should cover that. So I was wrong. I misread that rule. Apparently, you can only spend
once per opportunity. So the opportunity is in the attacker modifies attack dice phase. If there is a blank, you can turn it to a hit.
To a hit.
But yeah, I mean
but you can't spend Force in a defensive measure. But correct. Again, you're in a Defender frame that has 3 agility, probably did a 3 maneuver, and got the evade token, and probably already have focus. So I mean, you're probably turtled up already. Do you really need the Force for defense anyway?
So I'm not debating Vader being cool and all that. I'm just debating you actually playing on table and stuff.
Like I said, God, you have no idea. After a year of being home and not being able to go anywhere, I can't wait to get out.
So I had what I think, because it's me, is a really interesting Vader list that I might try. Because obviously we've been back and forth in the
and I couldn't make a Vader mini swarm work if I wasn't using just Academy pilots, which I don't want to do.
But you can't even fit 4 academies with them at 115. Right. It's 1 point over. So I went with, obviously we were back and forth over doing the TIE Brutes or the Brute and a Reaper was my suggestion to get a coordinate on the table for Vader as well. But then the actual thing I think I'm going to run is Vader and 2 assault gunboats.
Those I do have. I'm looking forward to this one. Because I thought you were going like Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother kind of thing.
I think so. I think that's viable if you have the balls to run that list without a bid and are good at the game. I am not good at the game, so I don't think I could leverage Fifth Brother and Seventh Sister and Vader. I mean, it's cool, and I probably will play it, but I don't think I can actually justify flying that. So I was looking at, I think I made it under Real Squad Builder, not Yasby.
All right. So, you actually did the FFG one?
Yeah. So it was Darth Vader in a Defender, obviously, and then you stop. But you don't need anything else. Just stop. Please, people, just stop.
You don't want to put like hate on him and all the other stuff?
No, why would you? You only have 3. So to be force starved, you have to attack, roll a miss, and 2 focuses, and spend them all.
I'm
Right.
not disagreeing.
You just if you're force starved on Vader, it doesn't matter. Just spend your focus. You're probably going to be okay. You know.
You're going 2 Alpha class Starwing. Okay.
Yeah. So I believe I got them to roll squadron pilots with the assault upgrade, which is the cannon one. Then I had auto blasters and the what's it called? It's a mod, advanced slam, and
Ooh, I see where you're going.
and marksmanship, and you can get 2 of them and still have a 3-point bid.
Marksmanship. I'm working here. Marksmanship.
Sorry, a 6-point bid. Sorry. Oh no.
And then what was the you had the cannon slot, correct?
Yeah. So auto blasters in the cannon slot. You can put a sensor on there. Yeah, you're not going to put passive sensors on, are you? It just seems silly. I mean, you could put passive sensors on them both, but no, you can only get one of them. Yeah. It's Vader with nothing, then marksmanship, advanced slam, auto blasters, and the assault configuration on 2 of them, which means you can slam and still fire and have a modified shot because you've got advanced slam. So they can get around the table to be somewhere that Vader isn't. And then if you're behind them, they can't cancel your crits. And if you can get them in bullseye, you're guaranteed a crit. So kind of makes them... Yeah, theoretically, you should want to be facing these guys so that you can fight them and not let them have all of their benefits, which means that Vader gets more time. But we'll see.
And they are 7 hit points at 41 points. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So there's 14 hit points sitting out there. Like I said, the only downside is, and this is part of the point that you were making in our Discord thing that I agreed with. It's the 3 attack dice. They are only 2 attack dice base. That's the only thing I'd be concerned with. But like, whenever you dump 115 points on one ship, you don't really have a ton of room left to get 2 more 3 attack dice ships that are worth their salt to be flying with it.
I do like, as much as I keep going on about it, I do really like the Reaper in this. You can't do a generic one, but something's right.
Something else you can do.
In fact, you can't do Vader in hyperspace anyway. So.
Oh yeah, no. I would not expect you. Did they announce that yet? That he was not hyperspace legal? Because I would assume that he wouldn't be.
Yeah, it was in the FFG article.
You know what you could do, Chris, and Chad would appreciate this: 2 bare naked Omicron group pilots.
You can. Not wrong.
It's 10 hit points, 3 attack dice on the front.
I mean, the attack dice out of rear, but you get the reinforcement.
This is the idea that I've been toying, because just imagine the formation alone, like Vader in the front with the 2 lambdas in the sides, and the lambdas are playing cleanup, 3 attack dice in the front, 2 out of the rear. If they die, they die.
If he dies,
most people are going to ignore them. And I know a guy who's pretty darn good at flying space cows.
Yep.
And I argue that the 2nd edition Lambda shuttle is better than the first with that.
It is.
With those rear attack dice and the coordinate.
So the good thing about it in compared to Reaper is your coordinate becomes white, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
I think the Reapers would just be more annoying. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can you get a Lambda and a Reaper in?
Yeah, probably. You only have 3 points left though. So your bid isn't as big. Your bid is not as big.
Right. No. I get that.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking to get the coordinate into the list, Lambda's got it. And it's white.
What you can do if you've got both is you move the Omicron group first, which lets you coordinate to a Reaper, which lets you coordinate to Vader, which stresses a Reaper, so you can turn off the ailerons if you decide you don't want to use them that turn. Yeah. Genius. Genius play.
I'm pretty good with Reapers also.
I'm gonna have to try to find one if I want to build that list. I've got the 2 Lambdas. I can do that.
You can still order them off the FFG website.
Oh, you can? I thought those were harder to find.
I've ordered a bunch so we can have them in the store whenever I've had credit and stuff at the Asmodee store.
I just happen to love the idea of running 2 Space Cows.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to be competitive. So here's the catch. I mean, is it going to be competitive? I think I don't care what you put on the board. Everybody's going to be gunning for Vader. So my thought process behind this, again, as much as it is my affection for the Space Cow, is that whatever else you're putting on the board is most likely going to get ignored. It's a large base. It can get in the way. It can jam up the lines, help defend Vader. And oh, by the way, once everyone blows past them, they're not out of the fight because they're still throwing 2 attack dice out of the rear. Yep. So it's a ton of hit points sitting there. You really can't ignore that, oh, by the way, can stall and just sit there. And if they're going to ignore it because everyone's going to be chasing Vader, so why not?
I mean, so the other thing you can do is Vader in a Defender, then Scenery in the Interceptor, because she's only 48 points. So why wouldn't you? And then, did it fit? No. So you can't currently put in the Reaper with 2 I6s because, FFG aren't that stupid.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
But you can fit a striker on there as well. So something like Duchess, I think. Duchess doesn't. No, which one?
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble when I was trying to unlock this puzzle. I didn't think about the Reaper, which is probably something I should have thought of. And might be better to go with because you can go with a Scarif. Can you go up to? No, you can't.
Oh, I think, in fact, this is what I think I did because it was funny. Is I think I went with Wampa in this version. So you've got Vader, Scenery, and Wampa. So you've got 3 attack dice ships because let's be honest, they're not shooting Wampa.
No.
So he should be 3 attack die. And then you've got 9 points for flavor on your Interceptor.
It's not a bad choice. But again, that's resulting on you've got 2 ace pilots and you have to be pretty good at the game to get that to work.
Just be good. Just be better. It's fine.
That's why I wanted the Lambdas. I don't have to be good. I can just throw them in the way and just all right, I'm going to stall and everyone can slam into me and then Vader can come around and do his white 4K turn and light you up like a Christmas tree.
Do you want to know what's a little bit sad, though? I think the real answer might actually be Vader in the TIE Advanced Scenery and soon to your fell.
Yeah.
Because base, you have 32 points for upgrades, and you have 3 I6s.
Yeah. That's pretty brutal, too. I mean
just gonna say, oh, look at that. Vader with supernatural reflexes, Scenery, and Cynthia Fell all fits at 200 points.
Yeah, but supernatural Vader, there was one of the things I don't want to.
A real shame if I did all of my actions before I moved. Oh no.
I don't want to spoil a question, so I think I'm going to hold my tongue before I respond to this because I know there was a question for the show.
We forgot. I've not done those for ages. I was like, you know what? We've not done for a while. But we could move on. I think that's all of the main topic anyway. Right.
Yep. I was going to say
I haven't. I suppose Rebels, the Phoenix Cell one, but the only interesting list I was thinking about, which is absolutely terrible. Please don't do this. Or if you do and win with it, please tell me how.
And pictures, or it didn't happen.
I was looking at a 4A wing squad. So you get Hera, Ahsoka, Jake, and the other I-4 one that wasn't Wedge. Sorry, Zach. Just apologize for not taking Wedge. Did it Sarah? Yeah, maybe it was Sarah. Sarah Bay, I think, because you get to add a result if you spend a lock. And Hera can pass the lock, so I think it was that one, maybe. Or maybe it was Wedge. Maybe. Well, Wedge is fine. It doesn't really matter. But yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It was basically 2 4s, a 5, and a 6. And you just coordinate actions from Ahsoka, pass tokens from Hera. Jake's giving out focus tokens left, right, and center. So we've got all the mods in the world. And they have like backwards pointing guns now and flying starboard slash to fly through people. It seemed like it could be a lot of fun, but be damned if I'm ever going to win a game with it.
I know a guy that might be able to pull that off. Didn't Alex Davey win a store championship or a regional?
He did, yeah.
With 5 A-Wings, 5 generic A's?
Yeah, and I think Ricky White...
Yeah.
Had pretty good success at Worlds, I think, with them, too.
Oh, like I say, please prove me wrong. I'm excited to see it if it works. But yeah, that was the only other thing. Just so we've spoken about a Scum squad, an Imperial squad, and a Rebel squad. Because we are an X-Wing podcast after all.
We are, after all. And we talked Epic.
And we talked, we meet all of the bases. So yeah, I suppose we can move on to close out the show now. Because we spent an hour ranting at Ed before we started.
I should have let that happen. But it did kind of fortuitously work out because just as my rant was coming to an end, Sean joined us.
Yeah.
So we got a full cast. So
that's because I posted that YouTube clip in our group chat on Facebook.
Oh.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weasley fucking liar, dude. So I think just for the listeners' sake, taking into account how many times we've had the discussion about Star Wars on the show the last few episodes, Ed said, and he's changed his mind now, but this was
retracted this statement.
This is what prompted the "what a Weasley little liar, dude." Ed
this was in the heat of the moment in a very heated debate.
That if they'd have done episodes 7, 8, and 9 and had just killed off all of the main cast from the episodes 4, 5, and 6 and done it in the preceding 30 years, started afresh with completely new characters, Ed would have been okay with that.
In comparison
to what was fucking liar, dude.
Yep.
I've walked it back. I have walked it back and said, okay, that was over the line. I agree with you that was over the line.
Oh dear. That was
in response, though, just for context. That was in response to Star Wars had 6 or 7 movies that they had to roll into to ensure that they were still in line with, and that was hard to do, whereas the MCU could start off with Iron Man and work their way up. Because the argument that I was posing was that I don't understand how under the same Disney roof that you can have one production company in Marvel do relatively well, not perfect, and I'm not dying on the hill that every MCU movie has been absolutely a gem, because it hasn't been, but have the ability to keep a continuous storyline going through and do a pretty good job of making the fans happy in those areas, but under that same roof, under a different division, couldn't do the same thing with Star Wars. And I think Sean came back with the best argument that I have heard to counter that, which is Disney has more control over what Marvel Studios does, and everything else. It's just like Disney owns ESPN, but doesn't tell ESPN how to broadcast sports. They have LucasArts, and they don't tell LucasArts how to do, LFL, Lucasfilm. don't tell them how to do Star Wars. And that is the best argument that I've heard as to why that couldn't happen. So now I can get off my soapbox. Sean has corrected me, as he usually does.
And even though me and Kris made really good points and you just couldn't understand them.
I don't feel that your points were good. Sean's was good because Sean put me in my place because I'm like, wow, I don't have a counter to that. That's a really good argument. Whereas all the others, I felt that I had counters to. So when I know when I'm
But
beat,
you didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't good counters. Let's put it that way.
We can agree to disagree. Hence the theme for the show. All right, so that's going to do it for this one. It's great to have a full cast on this one. So, Chad, it's been a while. It's been good talking to you, my friend.
We've got to do a question, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And before I forget, it'll be $35 from the last episode, which is what will be getting donated to a charity that I haven't picked yet because I wasn't expecting to win this one.
Should always expect to win.
What do you my Vader 90 whatever,
I mean, there's a chance, Sean, that, FFG just were like, you know what? Fuck it, let's burn this fucker down when we hand it over to AMG. There you go. That was me going almost full Wigan for you then. And we handed over. No H in the word hand. And
all right, so I have to retract my Vader list because apparently it's 1.0 with 2 lambdas. I don't know how I did that. It says 201 on yet another squad builder.
Way to go, Ed.
Damn it.
What a fucking liar, dude.
I really wanted to fly that list, so I don't want anyone to go and look, oh, Ed's an idiot. Well, he is, because apparently he didn't see the little red thing that says, hey, you're 1.0 over, dumbass.
If they've ever heard anything I've said on the show, they already know that.
I mean, how many times have you played a game of 40k where someone's like, oh yeah, this I'm at 2,002 points, so we'll fucking drop something then, dickhead.
Yeah, drop those frag grenades that you aren't really going to use, and just
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm playing a 2,000 point game. What do you think about this list? Oh, it's 2,004 points, so I think it's fucking terrible. Yep. God, I hate 40k, please.
Well, because what always happens, you always end up with let's say
0.4% between friends. The rules, dickhead.
It's always that one where, if I do this full squad, my lowest troop is 16 points, but I've got 22 points left, and I've got nothing else to put in. Can't I just put in, and go 4 points over to get a full squad of 10? No, you can't.
Oh.
I've heard the argument. It doesn't compute. No, you can't.
So what's the question?
I often go into McDonald's and say, I would like your $5 meal, please. Here is $4.98.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, dear. Okay.
We have a question.
Am I reading this? Are you reading this? I don't know.
You can read it because I don't have the exact wording that Patrick put up on the question, but it's a good question, and it's funny that you mentioned one of the cards that I was going to mention.
What are the biggest traps, pilots or upgrades that people keep believing in?
Supernatural reflexes.
Oh, man.
I think supernatural reflexes works really well with low initiative force because of how low points goes up. But the minute the pilots that you want to put supernatural reflexes on, it costs way too much.
See, I would say that the biggest trap, Patrick, is what Ed has fallen right into now. And I will take my time to explain this. Ed is under the assumption that people play X-Wing to have fun in good faith. And that's a trap, my friend. That's a trap.
I would make, and we've made this argument before in the past, that 90% of the people that play X-Wing do not play it competitive.
I agree. But if you're worried about falling into a trap and making a bad list, assuming that people are going to play the game in good faith is the biggest trap you will ever make. Because supernatural reflexes is the best way of just not playing the game ever invented, which is why it now costs a lot more. The unfortunate thing is, by making it cost more, you reinforce the fact that the points fortress that they can't kill is now more unkillably expensive. So if they don't kill it, they get even less points because that would have been points somewhere else in the list.
Yeah,
It
that's a
wouldn't,
that's a
it wouldn't
fair
have
point.
been because it would have been a bid which is hidden behind the half points, so it's even worse. So it's impossible to win the game because you either make Supernatural cheaper, so we just take a bigger bid, or you make Supernatural more expensive, so at least if you do catch it, you get more half points, you know?
Yeah, I could see the gatekeeping of the points. I could see that as a good argument. Actually, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So never assume that your opponent is going to play the game in good faith, as I did with my game against Will. I came here to fly these Z95s at you. Oh, that's funny. I came here to fly my fire sprays away from your Z95s and drop bombs, assuming that you're going to be a moron and just fly into them while I shoot you out of my butt guns. Oh, okay. I see how this goes. I think I'll K-turn now, thank you, and just say no. If both of us play that game optimally, we effectively K-turn around the board until time and then roll final salvo. Thanks a lot. But no, I mean it wasn't that bad.
Not that I don't love him, but you Richard Sue in the back corner until the last minute and then pop out and kill a ship.
Yep.
Oh man, don't go there.
I love Richard, I do, but I think that's in that same vein.
Well, that's actually against the rules now. If they fortress and don't move any ships,
it is now. It was not at the time.
If you do a 1 forwards and a 3K, then a 1 forwards and a 3K, that's different. Because all my ships are moving, man. I'm playing the game in good faith.
Was it Worlds, the guy that did the what am I thinking?
4 Ys?
Not the Y.
I think this is the Star Viper argument we had.
The Star Viper argument. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. But okay.
He was moving.
Shall we answer Patrick's question?
I was just going to say, can we genuinely answer his question?
So, Ed's going for Supernatural, which I can see the point. The biggest trap. So it's effectively what is... Okay, I've got this as easy. Wedge and outmaneuver. Not necessarily on the same ship, but wedge with outmaneuver is like the biggest of traps. Wedge or outmaneuver in general is like, oh man, this is so good. Can you imagine? I shoot 3 dice and then they lose 2 of their agility. I'm so good at this. You know what? They probably weren't going to evade anyway. So doesn't really like. It's a lot of points for not a lot of effect. Should have taken crack shot.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good argument.
Anyone else got anything they want to throw into a ring?
Phantoms.
Do you have any? So we both talked to upgrades. Do you have any pilots that you feel are traps?
Out of the Phantoms that I don't think are as good.
You don't think they're as good because they don't have the 4 attack dice anymore. I think that there are people that play this game fairly competitively that would disagree with you wholeheartedly that Whisper is still good even with 3 attack dice.
Yeah. It's not just that. It's not just that. It changed the whole cloaking aspect of it, and that was post nerfing the original, decloak. And I was like, okay, I'll still make this ship work. They changed the way the decloak is, and then it's like 2nd edition came along, and it's all like, okay, so now you have to keep a hold of that evade token if you want to recloak. And we're going to take away an extra attack die, and it's like you're watering down the ship, but you're still leaving it costing points. It's like...
Yeah, and Whisper's 60 points, so that would have been 30 points base, old 1st edition points.
I still don't like the ship now. It's not something that's changed. 2nd edition.
It's one of your babies. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean, I liked what they did adding the butt gun to the space cow, but not a fan of what they did to the Phantom.
Trying to find.
You know what? I do have one. I have a trap. I think Major Von Reg is a trap. Because he leads you down a road in First Order that I don't know you necessarily have the tools to do properly at the moment. Because his dial isn't quite as good as a normal interceptor, because your blues are on the 1 hard rather than the 2, so you can't cover as much space. His ability is just not as punchy. He costs more. It doesn't cost more points, but if you load him up to make him as effective, it costs more points. And you end up doing the I6s, so you'll put quick draw in, and quick draw is just not as good. And it kind of snowballs into you just taking a suboptimal list, when what you should have flown would be like Imperial Aces instead.
Yeah.
So Major Von Reg is a trap because he makes you think that you can fly First Order Aces when you can't, just fly Imperials. In fact, no, that's a trap. I just advise you from trap into trap. Just fly Jedi. They've
See,
got the Force too.
I was going the opposite direction. Maybe not opposite, more like a perpendicular direction. I went Redline or any of the ordnance-heavy ships.
Oof. Am I going to have to teach you a lesson?
You might. Because I feel like whenever you start...
I have a beta list, but I'm going to show you how wrong you can be. It's because Darth Vader in a Defender... And then let's see. Punisher.
I don't recall throwing a Defender into this group.
Redline.
Okay, now we're talking.
Advanced sensors. And not payload. Where's it gone? Torpedo. Protons. Okay. So I can take advanced sensor Redline with protons, Vader, and still have a 12-point bid.
But the argument that I was making was that taking those ordnance-heavy ships, like the Punisher, makes you want to spend more points on more ordnance and suck more points into it. That's the argument that I was making. If you're only going to run one piece of ordnance on the ship, that's fine. I think you're doing it the right way.
I mean, okay. Maybe the sentiment is something I can agree with, but the specific use of the word red line is what I will call umbrage with.
Maybe I should have called... Well, because he wanted specific pilots.
Yeah.
And that was when I thought the TIE Punisher, that was the first one that came to mind, was that one. This could be any generic ordnance-based pilots that would work for this. Redline was just the red letter one that I picked for the sentiment of my thought.
Yeah. So spoilers, advanced sensor Redline is still good.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree. You're only putting one piece of ordnance on it. I think the trap is that, but I have all of these other payloads.
Not if you like. I just don't think I need to.
My point is that you have all of these other slots that you can fill with other ordnance, and I feel that those are traps to be able to just continue to keep throwing points into a ship. Because we've talked about that in multiple occasions, where you just keep wanting to throw points into a ship to make it really, really good, and then you never really get the points out of it that you've put into it. That was the reason why I chose that particular chassis and that particular pilot. I could have said any of, like, even the TIE bombers so much, like, and I love the bombers, I really do, but I think even they kind of fall into that category. I would have said the assault wings too, but you just used them in a list that I went, maybe I can see that, but you're using it for the advanced slam. Again, you're not using it for the weapons payload.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying. It's one of the things I've often complained about is the potential to spend. You're paying to spend more points.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'll play you with this list then. We'll try and get this game done. Can
we do a Vader on Vader list?
Yeah. Because I don't think you're going to have more than a 12-point bid.
I don't think I am either.
So yeah, we can. I'll take my Vader and Redline with a 12-point bid against whatever you care to throw a game with.
Oh, did we lose? Oh, we
He's
lost
back.
Chad. We've got Chad
He's
back.
back.
There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry with it. We're all back now.
Your local internet. That's all I could say. As much as I wanted to run 2 Space Cows, you can't.
Yeah. So there you go, Patrick. Those are the traps.
Yep, I agree. All right, so now I'll get to say, Chad, always good talking to you, my friend. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, it was good to be here. I mean, the whole pre-argument of an hour or whatever it was a bit excessive, but yeah.
I agree.
I'm going to stop bringing up the topic. It's just better for me. It's better for my health, and I love Kris, so I don't want to continue to give him more gray hair.
It makes me sad that I'm like. So one piece of advice I have in general, and it's one that I can't follow because of the nature of the kind of stuff I do, with being involved with like this and the stuff I do on the Create Discord, running the painting stuff at the moment. I just step away from social media. Just don't worry about it. You don't need it. Don't use social media. Don't get pulled into things, and just give people benefit of the doubt and just let stuff go, because all you do is stress yourself out by holding on to things. Like,
Yeah, I would agree.
What? I can't even think of something.
Don't be an old angry man all the time, Ed.
It's not even that. So I think I'm trying to think of the last bad thing that I watched. I literally can't think of something, and it's not because everything that I watch is good. Obviously, I've watched something terrible, but I just moved on. I don't care anymore. So
you want to watch awful things? Download the Tubi app and watch the horror movies that they have on there. They are the most god awful horror movies ever.
Is that still a thing? I thought they shut that service down.
Nope, still a thing.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because that's a award-winning idea. What was it? A minute long? Everything has to be a minute long, or
no? Tubi. It's a movie app.
Oh, I'm thinking the what the hell was it? It was the Quickie, or I'll remember it later.
Vine?
No, not Vine. It was some new one that came on.
Yeah.
It sounds like some form of porn app that's been using. I don't know.
No,
yeah.
No. It was something like movies are no longer than like 3 minutes. The whole thing was like in a Quibi. I think Quibi was the app that lasted like less than a year.
Yeah, that sounds like something Ed would be into. Porn that lasts less than like 3 minutes, because that's all he lasts. So.
Timestamp, Kris.
That's time enough to wipe and have a second go.
Right? On that note, Sean, always good to talk to you, my friend.
Always good to be here, for sure.
Is it though?
Follow that up.
Is it though?
Kris, always good to talk to you, my friend. You've got some house cleaning you want to do.
It's always good to be here, Ed. It's been enjoyable. I think we've eaten into our Inquisitor time, though, because unfortunately I have work in the morning now.
Yeah, I think we have as well.
It's almost one.
Yeah, so if you would like to reach out and ask any questions, you can jump on the Discord and talk to us in there. Been pretty active over the last week or 2 weeks. So we host our Neptune's Pride games, our upcoming Blight game or whatever that's called. Generally, I try and hang out if I'm doing any painting or if I'm going to be playing on the computer. So we're always around. We do have plans to just jump on and play Inquisitor if people want to either watch a stream or whatever, hang out in the voice chat with us. So that's all taking place on Discord. You can email us any questions at lackoffocuspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at the Lack of Focus Podcast. And that's about it. So you can check out Ed's Twitch channel, because he's been doing a lot of streaming on there. When we're playing, he normally live streams on Twitch. I've not got around to setting up all my settings yet because I'm too lazy, but it is what it is.
freshly upgraded with a brand new, codec that's supposed to go with this gigantic video card. So it should be a cleaner 60 FPS stream now.
Yeah. And you can even leave comments on Ed's videos like I do, telling him how to play the game.
Right. If you'd have paid attention to that tutorial that said, hey, that thing that's a space, if you hide behind it, it actually gives you cover and you start recovering some things.
Not only is it telling you that it's a space that you can occupy, it's telling you a button you need to push to use the space. It's space.
Yep.
And
it kills me that I watched back after I did that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I spent like 20 minutes of the first 2 episodes of that going through and going, "What is this? I don't understand what it's asking me to do." Yeah, because I'm an idiot. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, Grandad. Can I watch someone young play this game, please?
It's called Old Guy Gaming for a reason, because I'm old.
I agree.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so that is going to do it for this episode. Chad, I have one final thing. Since you're here, I got soft and sappy on the guys earlier. You were not here for that episode, but I don't know if you recognize this or not, but we have exceeded the amount of episodes recorded for Lack of Focus than we ever did with the old Nova Squadron radio.
Oh, interesting.
We went back and talked about a couple episodes ago when we officially passed them. I think it was 2 episodes ago, I think.
Okay.
When we because we did the episode 70 joke episode. So 69, I think, was our unintentional final episode of Nova Squadron Radio. But we have been doing this for how long is it now, Kris? 6 years?
A long time, yeah.
That we have been podcasting together. So I didn't get a chance to get all soft and sappy with you. So I'm going to take a moment here just to get soft and sappy. This has been a ton of fun. I couldn't imagine doing it better with anyone else and wouldn't want to.
Agreed. That's level my sappiness.
Yep, exactly. And
that's not getting sappy. Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. That's as soft as Chad gets. I can assure you. So that's going to do it for this one. I do appreciate you tuning in. And as always, guys, fly casual. Thank you once again for joining the Lack of Focus X-Wing podcast. Check out Dice Hate Productions for all the latest episodes, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you again next episode.